What's up, everybody? Garrett back here, and welcome to my newest series, Anchor Bay Archives. Now, with this series, I want to go back. I want to go back in time to the days of DVD, even to the early days of Blu-ray, and talk about some of the things Anchor Bay was doing that really just kind of stood out. As a collector, the things that they did that I feel like really just set the tone for what we have now with some of these boutique labels. Anchor Bay was doing these really cool additions, something different. And I can remember being super hyped about these. And these are just great additions in my collection. And maybe you have these too, or maybe these are ones that you always wanted. Well, I'm hoping to kind of open that door back up and talk about these things with you guys in this series. So this is episode 1. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was something that came out in 2007. This edition, I remember either going online, like maybe either like Bloody Disgusting or Fangoria or something like that, or maybe even flipping through a magazine. I don't remember, but I remember seeing this article or this ad for a new edition of Re-Animator that was coming out. Now, I know Elite had this real cool edition. It was like a thick box, really, really cool. But this one just kind of turned it up a little bit. In 2007 and through those 2000s, Anchor Bay was really just top dog. And the thing is that you could find a lot of these things at your local Best Buy. And I think that's exactly where I grabbed this thing. And a lot of these horror titles were having like special editions, store exclusives. I don't think this was a store exclusive, but I do remember picking this thing up at Best Buy. And I remember when I saw that ad, I was like, oh my God, I have to get this. Because I absolutely just love Re-Animator. It's one of my all-time favorite horror movies, and I really haven't dove that deep about it here on the channel that much, but I'm hoping that someday I do talk a little bit more about Re-Animator because I just love it so much. So let's talk about this edition that came out in 2007 from Anchor Bay. This was this cool, look at how bright this is, this big box type of edition. It's a real thick kind of box, and what was the real kicker about this is that it came with a syringe pen. Now, I've never opened that syringe pen before. It might still be sealed and wrapped, but I'm going to showcase everything that came in this edition now. And again, if you guys were collecting a long time, you remember when this thing was released and how cool this really was. This image of Herbert West on the front, this cool like cartoon looking image, super cool. The greens just really pop on here. It's like a really neon green. Then if you look at the back, it's a real cool back on it too. And this thing was just very loaded with special features as well. Just an overall cool addition. Now, as you can see, it's like a thick cardboard box here. And on the front, you do get that Herbert West, and it's got the opening here for the little syringe pen, which it's in there. It's just kind of hard to see right now. But really, really cool edition. I just remember being so excited about this. Now, 2007 to me was like kind of almost that second wave of Anchor Bay. There was a lot that came out in that second wave where the boat kind of changed, and you got some real cool additions, which I'm going to talk about as well because it says Anchor Bay Collection. That was kind of the new thing they were going for when they released some of these cool items here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the back right now. It says one of the greatest horror movies ever made, a horror comedy that's miraculously as scary as it is funny. Entertainment Weekly. Now, this is packed with exclusive bonus features, including an all-new 70-minute documentary called Re-Animator Resurrectus. Now, that was kind of the kicker on this one, is to get that documentary that we haven't seen yet Anchor Bay put out. And if you look at this, it had 2 discs. This thing is loaded. It's widescreen presentation. You've got here a lot of audio commentaries of Brian Usna, Stuart Gordon, a lot of the actors from here, actually all the main actors. You got that 70-minute featurette. You got some interviews. They interview Fangoria. You got extended scenes, TV spots, trailers. This thing was pretty much loaded. But man, this thing was just super cool when it came out. And again, I think the colors just pop and it's really cool. So let's dig into this thing. Now, hopefully this will bring back a little bit of memories. Now, what's nice about this is you do get that DVD case. And they did sell this, I think, in a standard edition as well. But what's nice about this, I actually got this signed. You can see it says 2 Garrett parts on it. And it was signed by Jeffrey Combs. I mean, it is in green, so it's a little bit hard to see on here, but it's right here on the side. So I did meet Jeffrey Combs, and he did sign this because, again, at the time, this was kind of my early convention years. This had just come out, and I think it might have been my first convention, so I was like, oh my God, I'm going to bring this and have him sign it. Now, was it the best place to have him sign it? No, not at all. It was on the DVD, which is housed inside here. Now, I think if I would have got it signed again on this, I probably would have had him sign it like right here. But I'm not really much of like a physical media signed guy. I was at one point, but I kind of learned it's a little bit hard to display some of these things. But if I was to do it again and I was to get this signed, I probably would have had him put his name right there, maybe like a green paint pen or something. But it's on this DVD here, this box, which again makes it a little bit different than what anybody else has. And when you open this up, you do get that artwork of the original poster, and you do get this first disc and the second disc with that documentary on it. So really, really cool. And that's some more artwork that you also get on another Anchor Bay more standard release that they put out after this kind of sold out. So what I'm going to do now is, I don't think I've ever taken this pen out. It might even still be, oh no, it is. All right, so let me see how this is housed in there. It's like got a little glue strip on it. I don't think I'm going to take it out, but maybe I can actually. I can. Okay, so pen's in here. Let's take a look at this thing, because this is pretty old now. Ink is still good. I'm not going to open it, but what I liked about this, again, it says Re-Animator on there. Kind of see that. And it looks like it's like a marker type thing, and it's a syringe pen with the green ink inside. So just a real cool little prop that you got with this edition. Little promo item here. I always think that's cool when you get something unique like this, and especially with what this movie's about. I think this is just a real cool piece to have. I'm going to slide this back in, and I'm going to put it right back in this box here. So again, that was the innards to this, but we're going to look at it one more time. If you guys remember this set, just brings back so many cool memories of being a collector back in the day. Like I said, I'm a big fan of DVDs just because that was just my glory days of collecting, especially horror, because there was just so much cool stuff out there. And I really do think these Anchor Bay titles were precursors to kind of some of the cool stuff we see today. So guys, I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to kind of talk about this, my memories with it. I remember getting this and just being super excited to have this on the shelf. And not only that, I have it on the top shelf, which again, I have a lot of these cool boxes kind of across the top. But even when I didn't have a lot of that space, and you put this on the shelf this way, it's an eye catcher. You see that big thick box, the bright green says Re-Animator. That's just something that really catches people's eyes. If you store it like this or store it like this, it's just one of those editions that just really stands out. Now, what I want to know down below, did you have this edition? Do you remember this edition? Do you still have this edition? Let me know your thoughts on it, because again, I just think it's a real cool one, and I wanted to start off my new series with it. Now, I have a ton of stuff to talk about from Anchor Bay. Cool editions, hard to find editions, and it's just going to be nice to go back in time and kind of talk about this stuff with you guys. So again, this is episode 1, and we are talking about the 2007 release with that syringe pen for Re-Animator. Now, guys, thank you for checking this out. If you like this kind of stuff, if you think this series is going to be fun, maybe throw out some recommendations and see if I have it, of things that you might want to see from Anchor Bay that came out back in the day. So I hope you enjoyed it, because there's more to come. All right, guys, this is Garrett at Born to be Rad, and like always, stay rad.